Now, here's where many women miss an important point. Trusting in the Most High includes trusting the order established by the Most High. That is something modern culture struggles to understand. Many women say they trust in the Most High, but what happens when his order conflicts with their preferences?
Check out purposelyhere.com where you will find my self-published book. Purposelyhere.com also has exclusive merchandise for men, women, and kids. Purposelyhere.com is also available on your mobile devices. Stay tuned and enjoy the video.
Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Simitria, and on this channel, we discuss biblical womanhood, faith, family, accountability, and returning to the order established by the Most High according to Scripture. Today, we're discussing a topic that makes many women uncomfortable before the conversation ever begins. Sarah called Abraham Lord. Some women hear that and immediately become defensive. Others become angry. Some try to explain it away. Others refuse to believe it has any relevance today. But before we react emotionally, let's first understand what Scripture is actually teaching. One of the biggest problems in modern society is that biblical words are often defined by culture instead of Scripture. Just as many people confuse biblical love with emotional attachment, many people confuse biblical submission with weakness. They are not the same. Submission is not slavery. Submission is not inferiority. Submission is not the absence of intelligence. Submission is not the absence of value. Submission is not a wife becoming her husband's personal servant. Submission is willingly walking in the order established by the Most High. Likewise, when Sarah called Abraham Lord, she was not declaring herself worthless. She was not declaring Abraham perfect. She was not declaring herself less important. She was demonstrating trust in the order established by the Most High. That distinction matters because modern culture has conditioned women to hear the word submission through the lens of oppression rather than through the lens of faith. As a result, many women reject biblical teachings before they ever take the time to understand them. Let's begin in 1 Peter 3, 5-6. For after this manner, in the old time, the Kodash, or holy woman, also, who trusted in Elohim, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Again, that's in 1 Peter 3, 5-6. Notice something important. Before Peter discusses Sarah's submission to Abraham, he discusses holy women who trust in Elohim. That detail matters because Sarah's conduct did not begin with Abraham. It began with the Most High. Many women approach this passage asking whether Abraham deserved it. Was he worthy? Was he perfect? Did he always make the right decisions? But Peter doesn't direct our attention to Abraham first. He directs our attention to women who trusted in the Most High. Why? Because Sarah's ability to submit was rooted in her trust in the Most High. Now, here's where many women miss an important point. Trusting in the Most High includes trusting the order established by the Most High. That is something modern culture struggles to understand. Many women say they trust in the Most High, but what happens when his order conflicts with their preferences? What happens when his design challenges their opinion? What happens when his instructions make them uncomfortable? That is where the true test begins, because it is easy to trust the Most High when his instructions agree with what you already wanted. The challenge comes in when they do not. Scripture teaches that the husband is the head of the wife, not because he is more valuable, not because he is more intelligent, not because he is more important, but because that is the order established by the Most High. Just as Hamashiach, or Christ, is the head of the church. Just as the Most High is the head of Hamashiach. Scripture presents an order, and every generation must decide whether it will accept that order or resist it. Now, before someone misunderstands this teaching, let me say something important. In a previous teaching, I discussed the responsibilities of men and how Scripture commands a husband to love his wife while remaining obedient to the Most High. I explained that biblical love is not emotional bondage, and that a man's affection for a woman should never cause him to compromise righteousness. The reason I bring that up here is because biblical order is never one-sided. Many people hear a lesson about submission and immediately focus on what is required of women. But Scripture also places responsibility upon men. The husband is accountable for how he leads. The wife is accountable for how she follows. The husband is commanded to love. The wife is commanded to submit. The husband is called to lead responsibly. The wife is called to follow faithfully. Neither role exists without accountability. Neither role exists without responsibility. And both ultimately answer to the Most High. Many women hear discussions about headship and immediately think about abuse. They think about control. They think about domination. But biblical headship is not tyranny, and biblical submission is not slavery. The abuse of something does not invalidate its proper use. Now, let me address something that often creates confusion. Some women assume that submission means they cannot think. Submission does not mean that. Some women assume submission means they cannot have opinions. Submission does not mean that. Some women assume submission means they cannot offer wisdom, counsel, or insight. Submission does not mean that either. A godly wife can think. A godly wife can speak. A godly wife can advise. A godly wife can express concerns. A godly wife can share wisdom. The Proverbs 31 woman clearly did. None of those things remove her responsibility to submit to her husband according to Scripture. The difference is that she operates within the order established by the Most High. Just as a husband has responsibilities under headship, a wife has responsibilities under submission. Neither role exists without accountability. Now let us consider something that many women struggle with. What happens when a husband makes a decision that the wife would not have made? What happens when she believes another option would have been better? This is where trust becomes important. If a husband is operating within biblical boundaries and not directing his wife to violate Scripture, this submission often requires a woman to trust the leadership established by the Most High, even when she would have chosen differently. That is difficult for many women because modern culture teaches women that maintaining control is safety. Scripture teaches something different. Scripture teaches trust, not trust in a perfect man, not trust in flawless leadership, but trust in the order established by the Most High. Sarah understood this. This is why Peter points us to her example. Now, before we continue, if you're enjoying this study, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps this message reach women who are seeking biblical truth rather than cultural options. Let's continue. One of the biggest mistakes modern women make in assuming submission lowers their value. Scripture never teaches that. Sarah was not less valuable because she submitted. She was not less intelligent because she submitted. She was not less important because she submitted. In fact, Peter presents her as an example for women to follow. Submission did not diminish Sarah. Submission revealed her faith. That is what many women miss. When trust in the Most High is removed, submission appears foolish. When trust in the Most High is present, submission becomes an act of faith. And faith often requires us to do things the world does not understand. The world does not understand why women should embrace biblical roles. The world does not understand why women should reject modern definitions of empowerment. The world does not understand why women should prioritize obedience to the Most High over personal preference. But the people of the Most High have never been called to follow the world. We are called to follow Him. Sarah's example forces us to ask difficult questions. Do I trust the Most High only when I agree with him? Do I trust the Most High only when his instructions are convenient? Do I trust the Most High only when his design benefits me? Or do I trust him enough to embrace the order he established even when it challenges my preferences? Because at the heart of the discussion is not Abraham. At the heart of the discussion is not even the word Lord. At the heart of the discussion is trust. Sarah trusted the Most High. Because she trusted the Most High, she trusted the order he established. And because she trusted the order he established, she was able to walk in biblical submission. The question every woman must answer is simple. Do we trust the Most High enough to do the same? Thank you for joining me for today's study. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Why do you think Sarah's example creates so much discomfort in modern society? What lessons can women learn from her faith, trust, and submission to the order established by the Most High? Until next time, continue seeking truth, continue growing in faith, and continue striving to live according to the will of the Most High. Make sure you check out my website, purposelyhere.com, where you can find all 3 of my self-published books. And until next time, you all stay safe and peace.